When you think Miss Universe contest, you immediately imagine a lineup of gorgeous girls, the picture of perfection from head to toe. What you don't consider, however, is that these contestants must have more going for them than just their looks.
Yeah! Yeah!
For one, they must be able to stay upright. From the misstep that landed a contestant in cold water to the preliminary swimsuit competition pile-up, here are 15 biggest Miss Universe fails ever seen. Number 15. Miss Universe Spain Fall. Whether this beauty queen was hoping to get up close and personal with the on-duty lifeguard, we're not sure, but whatever the case, she ended up taking an unexpected dip in the pool to the horror of her fellow competitors. The Miss Universe Spain contestant was left red-faced when parading in the dress and swimsuit portion of the competition back in September 2017. Unlike the model before her, who had expertly avoided the water hazard, Pilar Magro took a wrong turn and stepped straight into the water, disappearing under the surface with a shriek. Fortunately, a buff lifeguard quickly dived in to save the day, and aside from injuring her pride, Pilar was perfectly okay. In fact, she slipped her shoes off and swum over to the pool's steps. What a champ. And to show what good sports her fellow contestants were, they showed their support by applauding her and making sure she was alright. The video was posted on the Miss Universe Spain's YouTube page. However, it didn't prove popular with approximately 50 views. Good news for Pilar, not so good for the competition. Before we go on, we have a cool challenge for y'all. It'll take about 5 seconds to complete. Let's make a deal. Just leave a like on this video, smash that subscribe button, and hit the notification bell, and you will get 10 years of amazing luck and fortune. Try it, it actually works. Number 14. Miss France contestants fall on runway. Not one, but 2 contestants fell over and several others tripped after a brief encounter with a wet stage during the Miss Universe 2019 preliminary swimsuit competition in Atlanta, Georgia. Both Miss France and Miss Malaysia took a tumble, leaving organizers red-faced and the 2 contestants with bruised egos. Several other contestants also had difficulty maintaining their balance due to the slippery conditions. Miss France, Maeva Kook, was one of the worst affected, tripping on the runway as she paraded in a bikini with a blue cape. She shared a video of the incident on Instagram, saying she had experienced the worst obsession of a miss, falling on stage. The 25-year-old and her fellow contestant, Miss Malaysia, were not injured by the incident, with both retaining their composure throughout. In fact, Maeva believed the brief encounter with the slippery surface and her subsequent fall were the very essence of a woman's life, where you get back up and carry on no matter the obstacles. With an attitude like that, it comes as no surprise that she placed in the top 10. Number 13. Miss Universe Malaysia. Miss Universe Malaysia contestant Shweta Sekhan showed what a good sport she was when parading in the swimwear section of the competition in December 2019. She found herself in a somewhat embarrassing situation during the live show. Strutting her stuff across the catwalk in a rather revealing bikini and a flowing blue cape, Shweta, who was representing France, took a tumble but remained her composure throughout. After her fall, she gathered herself up, laughing and smiling and encouraging the crowd to clap. Shweta wasn't the only contestant to slip on the floor, with several other contestants from France, Indonesia, Malta, and New Zealand also experiencing a similar fate. Staff immediately took action and wiped the floor following the incident, but not before fans took to social media expressing their disgust at the negligence of organizers for not inspecting the stage beforehand. Number 12. Miss Puerto Rico Falls 2018. Each year, the Miss Universe competition requires contestants to wear a national costume that draws inspiration from the country they are representing. The costume must portray the culture and characteristics of the country, and they are getting more and more elaborate looking each year. Many look strange, funny, and unique. However, some are quite glamorous and can weigh up to 10 kilograms. This point was evident in 2018 when Miss Puerto Rico took to the stage in the Miss Universe competition with her unusual outfit. 94 contestants competed in the 67th annual Miss Universe pageant, and each wore their unique patriotic ensembles with pride, the most notable being Miss Puerto Rico. Her competition dress was red, white, and blue, the colors of her home country flag, but that's where any similarities ended. A complete disaster from head to foot. Poor Miss Puerto Rico was trying to make the best of a bad situation when things took a turn for the worst. She fell, quite delicately I might add, but due to the weight of her dress, couldn't get back up again. Fortunately, an attendant came to her rescue and the show continued without another hitch. Number 11. Miss Guyana. It's not surprising that so many Miss Universe contestants take tumbles considering their dress designs and ridiculous footwear choices. I mean, who pairs a mermaid dress with a pair of stilettos? Well, the contestants in the 2012 pageant in Las Vegas, Nevada, that's who. Dressed in a gorgeous pale blue ensemble, Miss Guyana looked the picture of elegance as she took to the stage at the introductory Miss Universe event. Crossing the stage like a graceful model on the catwalk, Miss Rakaya Boyer tripped and fell in front of the judges, other contestants, and millions of viewers from around the world. Retaining her composure and her smile, she quickly picked herself up and completed her walk. The picture of elegance, this lady wasn't gonna let a little slip get in the way of a good show, although later she did admit to being more than a little embarrassed. Not surprising, really. Boyer wasn't the only contestant to fall that night either, but she may have been the only one who shot to instant social media stardom when the video of her fall hit the internet. In fact, some even stooped so low as to call it an attention stunt. Surely fame isn't that important, is it? Number 10. Miss Salvador. Yet another example of an unusual national costume. This outfit was designed as a tribute to the late Salvadorian artist Fernando Lord Chusi. Often dubbed El Salvador's national artist, Fernando was well known for teaching the citizens of the small town of La Palma, Chalatenango how to make a living through art. His style was colorful and often described as childlike, and this is obvious in the Miss Universe participant's costume. What appears to be a cross between a mermaid's dress and colorful windmill was paraded by Miss Salvador at the Miss Universe pageant in 2019. How she was able to carry herself across the stage without falling or at least toppling over due to the excessive headpiece is beyond me, but that she did. Miss Salvador caused a viral obstruction on the catwalk with her giant dress, which was met with gasps from the audience. Whether they were in awe of the dress or of her ability to pull it off without incident, I guess we may never know. Number 9. Miss USA falls. Miss USA, Rachel Smith, was left more than a little rattled the night she fell to the floor during the 2007 Miss Universe pageant held in Mexico City. She slipped and landed on her behind while modeling her evening gown as part of the competition. Smith is not the only Miss USA to do a butt plant on live television during the evening gown competition, with her successor Crystal Stewart offering some helpful advice to future contestants. Ditch the evening gown. She too had fallen foul to the lethal combination of a slippery floor, long ball gown, and stilettos, and believed grips on the bottoms of shoes and a short dress were the best combination. The 26-year-old Texan handled her tumble like a trooper, plastering a smile on her face and clapping her hands over her head, joking that perhaps someone had dropped marbles on the floor or something. It does seem a little coincidental that 2 years running, Miss USA contestants have been unceremoniously dumped on their behind. Conspiracy or not, we'll let you be the judge. Number 8. Steve Harvey fails calling the wrong winner. It's hard to imagine who would be more mortified in this scenario, the host or the Miss Universe contestant. In 2015, Miss Universe host Steve Harvey wrongfully declared Miss Colombia the winner of the annual international beauty pageant that is broadcast live in more than 190 countries across the globe to an audience of over 50 million people. To be fair, this just makes matters worse. Imagine the humiliation. Unfortunately, Miss Colombia Ariadna Gutierrez was first runner-up, and Miss Philippines Pia Alonso Wurzbach was the winner. Poor Miss Colombia had only just had the coveted crown placed on her head when it was ripped from her grasp after she walked across the stage waving the Colombian flag, smiling and blowing kisses at the audience. Harvey was forced to apologize, telling a confused Las Vegas crowd that he had made a mistake. It's doubtful a mere apology would have helped, but hey, this is showbiz. The winner, Miss Philippines, appeared to be at a loss as to what to do as the crown was removed from Miss Colombia's head and put on hers. It's hard to imagine what was going through her mind. It would be difficult to publicly celebrate the win under such unusual circumstances, wouldn't it? Number 7. Miss Venezuela 2009 drops her crown. Apparently, a Miss Universe pageant isn't a pageant without some drama happening. Whether someone forgets a line of their well-rehearsed speech, a contestant simply walks into a swimming pool fully clothed, or unceremoniously slips off the side of the stage, something dramatic always happens. In this case, the drama didn't involve a person as such, but an important item with close links to the pageant, the crown. No, it wasn't lost, it wasn't placed on the head of the wrong contestant, it was simply dropped, and at the worst possible moment. During the 2009 Miss Universe competition, Miss Venezuela, Diana Mendoza, dropped the crown whilst presenting it to the new beauty queen, Stefania Fernandez, also of Venezuela. Fernandez was crowned the 58th winner of the title in a show broadcast live from the Atlantis Paradise Island Resort in the Bahamas. It was the second win for Venezuela in as many years, and the 6th Miss Universe title for the South American country. The crown was said to be completely unharmed by the incident, unlike the previous Miss Venezuela's pride, no doubt. Number 6. Miss USA Crystal Stewart. Following in the footsteps of her predecessor, Rachel Smith, who had been crowned Miss USA the prior year, Crystal Stewart tripped and fell on her tush during the evening gown competition of the Miss Universe pageant held in Vietnam in 2008. Describing the embarrassing fail as like she was on roller skates, Stewart found the whole incident humiliating. The event made the 13 biggest beauty pageant scandals list, which seems a little over the top considering it was hardly a scandal. In fact, this sort of thing is quite common in pageants. I mean, there are often quite a few accidental trips due to long evening gowns, high-heeled shoes, and the occasional slippery surface. Other contestants are just plain clumsy. The one who simply walked into a swimming pool fully clothed is just one example that comes to mind. Texas-born Stewart tripped on the train of her gown, later suggesting that contestants should consider a shorter dress to avoid the same thing happening. Whether we will see an array of short cocktail dresses as opposed to the elegant evening gowns remains to be seen. But with a video of Stewart's ordeal going viral, it'll be some time before the world forgets about the 2 Miss Universe contestants from the USA who couldn't quite master the catwalk. Number 5. Miss Universe 2004 dress falls off. Why this wardrobe malfunction didn't make it to the 13 biggest beauty pageant scandals list, we're unsure. But this incident rivaled even that of Janet Jackson's accidental exposure at the 2004 Super Bowl halftime show where she performed with Justin Timberlake. This show became infamous for all the wrong reasons and effectively gave birth to the phrase wardrobe malfunction. Jennifer Hawkins, who was crowned Miss Universe in 2004, suffered a similar fate but of slightly more epic proportions during a Sydney fashion show in 2004. The former rugby cheerleader was modeling the metallic lace evening dress she had worn at the pageant. During the fashion show, the bottom half snagged on her high heels and simply dropped to the floor, leaving Hawkins standing in her underwear. Following the mishap, the 20-year-old showed more composure than most her age, simply turning and sauntering backstage amid camera flashes and gasps from the audience. Although hundreds turned out to see Miss Universe strut her stuff on the catwalk, they got a little more than they bargained for. Whether they were bothered or not, we're unsure, but all Hawkins had to say was, "It was a pity I wasn't wearing better panties." Clearly, she was unfazed by it all. Number 4. Miss Dominican Republic. It's difficult to imagine how something quite so dangerous could be overlooked by organizers, but in 2013, a gaping hole in the runway of a non-preliminary event was obviously missed. Health and safety can't have been as big a priority back then as it is today, and one hapless contestant found out the hard way that it's a good idea to look where you're going at all times. Dominican Republic's Miss Universe contestant Yuritsa Reyes took an unscheduled tumble during the swimsuit portion of a runway show at a local mall in Moscow, Russia. Not only did she trip, but the Dominican beauty also fell completely over in dramatic style in front of a packed house. Onlookers could be seen rushing to help, but Reyes collected herself and carries on with the show like a real trooper. Controversy followed when it was discovered there was a gap in the middle of the stage that caused the accident. Whether the contestants were told about the triangular-shaped hole in the center of the runway, we are unsure. Did Reyes simply forget the instructions to avoid it, or was it sabotage? Number 3. Miss China. Miss China has a degree in fashion design and hopes to one day design her own line of dresses with an internationally recognized brand. And it's little wonder why, given the dress created for her for the Miss Universe pageant in 2012 was clearly ill-fitting. The petite contestant struggled to maintain her composure as she took to the runway in the preliminary evening gown competition and slipped not once, but twice as she crossed the stage. She wasn't alone either. Miss Guyana also tripped as she navigated the stage at the Planet Hollywood Resort Hotel and Casino in Las Vegas during the preliminary competition. Unfortunately, Miss Guyana was unable to save herself and she fell to the ground before regaining her composure, waving to the crowd and heading backstage. Once again, a combination of lengthy ball gowns, impractical footwear, and the pressure of perfection resulted in near disaster, with both contestants left rattled by their accidental faux pas. Number 2. Miss Myanmar. Clearly uncomfortable in her slim-fitting dress, Miss Myanmar May Thaw resembled a penguin struggling to walk elegantly across the stage in the preliminary evening gown portion of the 2015 Miss Universe pageant.
Everyone has been so supportive of her, so she wants to be sure not to let anybody down.
Her towering wedge-high heels appeared to create further issues as the Miss Universe candidate took a tumble as she tried to walk down several steps. The audience gasped as May landed on her bottom. However, she quickly recovered from her stumble and stood back up, encouraging the crowd to applaud her. She gracefully smiled and continued to walk the stage without further incident, which was fortunate given her uncomfortable attire. Perhaps it's time organizers reconsidered the dress code for these events to help avoid repeat performances. Whoever decided it was a good idea to pair a long evening gown with stilettos and a runway really needs to rethink the combo. These contestants can't even look at their feet whilst walking, as they must walk with their head held high. In my opinion, that's a recipe for disaster, don't you think? Number 1. Steve Harvey announces wrong winner again. In what appeared to be a repeat performance of his infamous 2015 flub, Miss Universe pageant host Steve Harvey experienced another blunder at the 2019 event. However, this time, it wasn't his fault.
Leaders of today doing enough to protect future generations from climate change.
He called out the correct winner of the National Costume Contest, but the wrong contestant was standing beside him to accept the reward. The real winner, Gazini Janados of the Philippines, was nowhere to be found on stage, and instead, Miss Malaysia, Shweta Second, was in her position next to Harvey. The awkward exchange played out in front of a live audience, with a confused Second speaking into Harvey's microphone, "It's not Philippines, it's Malaysia." A visibly uncomfortable Harvey responded by saying that her name was on the teleprompter and joked with organizers that they had to stop doing this to him in reference to the 2015 mishap. It turned out that Second misinterpreted Harvey's intro, not realizing the winner of the competition would be announced first. Despite the mix-up, the rest of the pageant went off without a hitch, and Miss South Africa, Zozibini Tunzi, was crowned Miss Universe 2019. Hosting the event for the 5th time, Harvey joked about the error in crowning Miss Colombia 4 years prior, saying he had survived it all and Colombia had forgiven him. In fact, when he announced Miss Columbia had made it into the top 20, she teased him, asking if he had read the results correctly. We're all guilty of it. We've all, at one point in our lives, tripped over our own feet, perhaps up or down a flight of stairs, or simply over a strategically placed toy. But if you've ever fallen over in a crowded shopping mall or a busy sidewalk, you might have some idea of how these Miss Universe contestants would have felt when they lost their footing while trying to appear glamorous. I can only imagine the embarrassment. Also, check out our other cool stuff showing up on screen right now. See you next time!